Hello everyone, I'm Srishal and thank you for joining us. Our guest for today is a current India number 4. He comes from a place where having a sporting facility, a good sporting facility, is still a dream for many. In the recent past, he's making his presence felt at the national circuit by having some commendable performances in the recent past. I'm talking about none other than Ayad Rashid. Hi Ayad,
Hi Shri, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great.
How's the lockdown treating you?
Honestly speaking, it's going really pretty good.
Hmm.
With my sections and all.
Hmm.
So I'm quite busy with the classes also, and still amid the classes and all, trying to balance my sports. Having a session in the afternoon and having it for almost 5 days a week. Yeah.
No,
So how are you doing?
I am doing good, Ayad. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
And
that's
you
great.
are in the fortunate few that you are at least able to play. We here, we are under lockdown and we are not able to practice for the last 6 months.
Right. I think it's just an unprecedented time. We really don't know what is going to happen. And I think what we all need to do at this moment, just hold on to our fears and have patience. I'm pretty sure everything will be fine very soon, because every disease has its cure. Every disease. So
True.
I think what we need to do is just be patient and hold on to our fears because nothing lasts forever, right? Nothing lasts forever. Yeah.
So Ayad, before the lockdown, for which tournament you were preparing, and how did the lockdown come to you?
Um, Actually, honestly speaking, the last tournament that I played was my Rajamundi tournament. It was under 19 tournament.
Hmm.
It was a national tournament actually. After that, I did not play. Why? Because my boats were there. So for a time period of almost 1 month, I hold off. I just wanted to prepare well for my tournament, for my studies also. So once the boards got over, I think I continued playing. I started my sessions. Um, After that, as soon as my boards got over, very unfortunately, our lockdown was announced actually.
Mhm.
So I couldn't play. I couldn't play for almost like 2 months. I think around till 2 months. I think I couldn't play. But as soon as the lockdown got over, I started playing again. But honestly speaking, I really had a dream this year, to getting into the ABC.
Hmm.
Um, it's okay. It's not important always that our journey has to be the way we want it to be, right?
True.
Sometimes there are so many factors that plays an important role in it. Just because one dream I'm not being able to fulfill doesn't mean I don't have other things, right? I think I'm pretty sure this COVID will really get over soon, and I still have hopes, getting into the team. Now let's see what happens.
Sure. Because the other day when we was speaking, you said that you have a dream to win medals for India, and whenever you step on the court, you have a different level of dedication, and the only aim which you have is to step on the podium and have the India flag above you.
Yeah. Um, I think it's not only my dream. I think it is my parents' dream. It is the dream of every player. I think whoever comes into the sports. Honestly speaking, the hard work of a badminton player or any other player, whether you play different sports like cricket, football, hockey, tennis, or anything you play, I think every sports has its own charm. You know, every player has his own dream. We don't know, when that dream is gonna come true. But honestly speaking, my dream was really to get into the podium. Like every time I step into the court, every time I step inside the court, those four corners of the court, whatever happens within those four corners of the court, it's my responsibility, right? So whether I lose or win, whether I injure myself, it's my responsibility. And how I get into the podium is also my responsibility. So I think it's my dream. Really, it's my dream to be on the podium. To make my parents proud, to make my coach proud, who have been always been constantly supporting me through everything. Yeah, it's everyone's dream. I think not mine. I think you as a player, maybe when you were a kid, I think it has been your dream too. I think every player who is watching right now here, I think it is their dream too. I think it's the thing that matters, is your hard work. No. It
Yeah.
just has to keep on going. You cannot say हाँ आज मैंने 50% hard work कर लिया कल भी मैं 50% करूंगा but where is the rest of the 50%, right? You have to put in your 100%. When you put in every session you're putting your 100%. I'm pretty sure that in the tournaments also you're going to perform well. If you're honest to yourself that हाँ आज मैंने session अच्छे से किया, I have done no fuss in my session. I've done everything properly. I'm pretty sure that day, or when you play the match in a tournament, you're going to feel that. You're going to feel that I have prepared well. I have played well. No matter what the outcome is, it could be a win or a lose. If it's a win, that's a bingo. If not, if it is a lose, okay, that's fine. Every lose in the way of your life, it's a lesson. That it teaches us. I think yeah, dream to hamisha hai, to take the to be in the podium. But yeah, let's see when that works out.
So Ayat, take us back to your early years. So why you started playing badminton and what influenced you to take up the sport?
Honestly, I could hear you. Hello.
Hello, am I
Yeah.
audible now? Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
so I was asking, take us back to your early years. So, why you chose badminton?
Um, Actually, when I was a kid, when I was 3 years old, before that, I had seen my father going to stadium of yeah. So he used to go to his office there, and I have seen him going there. So he used to take me and my brother, my twin brother, along with me to play. At there, what used to happen? He used to do his official work there. I and my brother used to sneak out of the office and play. Actually, where we used to play, it is a very interesting story. Actually, there in the stadium, inside the stadium, before I'm talking about when I was at the age of 3, there were two courts, if I'm not wrong, two courts and side mein gymnastic tha. So we were not allowed to go inside the court and play because we didn't know how to hold the racket actually by that time also. So what I and my brother used to do, we used to go to the gymnastic. वहाँ पे थोड़ा mattress का जैसे कुछ flooring था. So वहाँ पे we used to play. Honestly speaking, nobody taught us how to hold the racket. It was just, हाँ हम लोग खेलना है तो खेलना है. There wasn't a proper way to hold the grip. Just like if you give a racket to a layman, he will just hold it. He just has to hold it. For the purpose of holding, he will hold it. Right?
Correct.
So that was a condition when I and my brother went to play on that, soft mattress of that gymnastic, We just had to hold and we had to make sure कि हाँ वो जो string का बीच पे वहाँ पे लगना चाहिए shuttle. So like that only, he used to take us every day. Every day we used to go and, we used to practice, me and my brother. So after one day, when we really knew how to hold a racket, like when we knew at least how to toss and to serve, we were taken to a coach there. At that time, we had the coach. His name is Rup Kumar Buragohai. I think everybody knows him. He's a very reputed coach. He has, produced so many champions. He's still my coach. I'm still under him right now. So he's my first coach. He taught me how to hold a racket. Not only me and my brother. So from that day, we started playing under him, and we started, learning so many things: how to serve, how to play a game, what is love ball, what is a break, everything. We started learning everything under him, the footsteps and all. So yeah, there where it began. After that, the journey, it just continued playing badminton, till now.
So, when did you start formal training in badminton? As you mentioned, now at the age of 3, you were just playing with your brother. That wasn't a professional badminton training. So, at what age you thought that okay, now the parents put you in a professional training?
Before as I said, at the age of 3 and later on, We just used to play just for the purpose of having fun, you know. We just played, you know, just खेलना है तो खेलना है, मतलब वही खेलना है, मतलब, you know, just it wasn't, you know, very serious enough. We just two kids, you know, who used to play, you know, for fun as a hobby. But it was a time when I was in class three, you know, when I really decided, you know, हाँ मुझे ये करना है. I want to be a badminton player. Not only a badminton player, but a good badminton player. A player that knows his boundary, a player that has his own reputation, a reputation created by his own hard work, his determination, his willpower, and everything. So I think at the age of three, sorry, when I was in class three, I decided कि हाँ मुझे ये करना है. I want to become a player, a very good player. I want to make my parents proud, make myself proud. Yeah, from beyond from class three it started actually. I was quite focused, and you know I trained formally there. But before that, we used to just go for fun, you know, train, you know, just for the sake of happiness, you can say.
So, how was the schedule from there on once you started formal training?
Mm, After that, you know, when I was in class three, I did understand the concept of hard work, you know, and dedication. What two words really meant in any person's life, you know. So after that, you know, my routine was quite flexible, I would say, because I could manage it. My both studies and my sports, I took them federally. I never gave them a thought that you know my studies is having a burden on my sports or the vice versa, you know. So after that, when I really decided, you know, that I want to do this, I want to become a player. My schedule was kind of, you know, I used to wake up early in the morning, like around 5 or 6, you know, go for my session. Uske baad, doing my physical training for an hour, then coming back to home, you know, then taking a bath, having my breakfast, and going for my school. After school, I come back around 2:45. You know, I was quite exhausted. Uske baad, sometimes there have been days where I didn't even eat my lunch. I had to go to my session just after my school gets over, right? So there were so many like you know just after my school got over I used to go for my session. Then उसके बाद session खत्म होने के बाद then I have to have my tuition. उसके बाद पढ़ाई करना. So by that time at night, you know, exhausted, you know, no energy, nothing left. I'm just like मुझे bed पे जाना है तो जाना ही है, you know, just having my dinner and going to bed again because I know, you know, again I have to repeat this process again in the morning itself. So, you know, honestly speaking, I really enjoy it. It's not that it's difficult for me, you know. जब आप कुछ ठान लेते हो ना कि आपको कुछ ये करना है, you know, you really want to succeed in your life, then this determination, this hard work, you know, everything comes naturally. You don't have to force within yourself, कि, हाँ, I have to be hard work, you know, I have to be patient, you know. No, when you really want to do something, it will come automatically. So that what happened with me actually, honest speaking. I was a kid, you know, where whose parents never has to force him or her, you know, that you know you have to do this, that. I really knew what I really wanted to do. So I took my sessions and my schedules as a way of giving me pleasure, you know, as a way of fulfilling my dream because it is a part of my dream, right? If I don't practice, if I don't have a perfect schedule, I won't be good in studies also, I won't be good in sports also. So if I don't maintain a particular balance, I'll be nowhere. I'll have success in nowhere. So yeah, you know, my formal training afterward, it went very good. My schedule was very rigid. It's still now it's very rigid and flexible. Actually depends, you know, depends upon time.
Hmm. Nowadays, I am a coach. So when I train a young kid who is around 7 or 8 or 9, he takes up the sport, seeing the facilities. How good is the facility? How good is his racket? How good is his shoes? You come from a place. You come from Guwahati, Assam. Possibly you wouldn't have the best of facilities there. So what was the motivation for you to take up, and how were the facilities which you were provided with?
Honestly speaking, I really don't take things for granted, you know, because I really feel blessed, you know, that I'm in a place where I have the conditions that I need, where I have the facility that I need. There's so many people, you know, they really don't have the good facility. They either don't have a pair of shoes or they either don't have a racket to play or not a proper stadium to get into, right? So I really feel blessed, to be gifted with such, with such facilities, So where I practice right now here, I think it is very good. Before it wasn't, honestly speaking, before it wasn't, because we used to share one stadium. अंदर में, badminton भी होता था, gymnastic भी होता था. So it was very difficult. But now when you see where I'm practiced, it's completely badminton oriented. You, as soon as you enter the stadium, you feel like you have entered into a badminton stadium, and it is so good. I mean, if you get a chance, please come visit us. I mean, it's really good. It's really good. We have 5 courts here, and as soon as you enter, you feel like, this is a stadium. This is a really good stadium. So I have a good coach here. I have, every facility. अच्छा coach है यहाँ पे. That's what as I said, I really don't take things for granted, as I feel, I'm blessed with it.
So Ayad, as you said, now that you have good facilities, good courts, good possibly the rackets and shuttles, so is that an added motivation for you, or those things doesn't matter if you are really focused on your craft?
Actually, honestly speaking, it depends. It depends upon person to person. But what I believe is that, it is a motivation. Why? Because whenever I see someone who has things or who doesn't have a thing that I have, I really feel blessed and motivated. If I have that thing, I should know how to make use of it, right? We should not let the thing go off. But when I see people who are misusing those things, I tell myself, no, Ayar, this you don't have to do it. You are gifted with the intelligence. You need to use it to know where to use and how to use. So, honestly speaking, I really feel blessed. I take this as a motivation, getting to play under such good coach, having such good facilities, having the perfect lighting, having the perfect court at the perfect place. It's not everybody's, not everybody is blessed with it. Very few, trust me, very few of them are blessed. So for me, it's a motivation. It's a very big motivation for me.
So Ayad, coming back to your early years, so do you remember your first tournament and what you performed in that?
Yeah, it's an interesting story. Like I won my first tournament at the age. Sorry, when I was in class 1. I think I might be probably at the age of 10 years, if I'm not wrong. So when I was in class 1, I won the tournament, and it was held against my brother. So it was a final match. I won against him. It was held in Guwahati, I think. I'm not sure with the place, but I do remember it was my brother I played against. So it's very memorable, when the opponent is a brother, no matter what the outcome could be, whether it's a win or a lose. When you're playing with a brother, there's no scared, there's no external fear, that mujhe kuch pressure hai. There is no coach sitting. You just play, have fun, jo bhi hoga dekha jayega. It's like that kind. But yeah, I have to say, my first match was my first trophy, as you can say, was, when I was at the age of I think 10 years old. It was against my brother actually. I won that tournament. So yeah, it was under 10 actually.
Yeah. So Ayad, from there on, how was the transition from a player who is now playing those beginner level tournaments to a player who is now winning the state championships and preparing himself for the bigger national circuit tournaments?
The preparation and the transition that I had, it's absolutely good. I think the only word I would describe myself is satisfaction. I am really satisfied the way I transformed myself. As we were conversing the other day, as I told you, I converted myself from being a single player to doubles player, But since we are talking about how I changed myself when I was a small to a professional player, I think it's a very different journey, journey full of unexpectations, and lot of expectations and mumbles and jumbles here and there. You don't know what you expect in the match. When you get inside the court, when you see your opponent, he plays or she plays this way. I have to prepare myself. I have to prepare my mindset to play in this way. So then you know that your success is gonna come. Then you know that that you're going to win, right? So I think the transition to completely being a good and a professional player, I think was full of ups and downs. I think I have been so many things. I think from changing coaches, from having a change of panel of coaches, to getting trained under best of the best coaches, and imbibing so many great knowledge from them, whether it's a doubles or a singles, no matter what, knowledge is always knowledge, right? It's going to benefit you everywhere. So I think I really feel happy, the way I transform myself. I'm very happy with the way I am. I'm playing right now. I'm very happy.
Ayad, the one thing which you told was there was a very interesting story about you talking to your coach and he asking you, tell me from my heart what you really want to play. So shed some light on that conversation of yours.
Yeah, actually, before I was a singles player, uh, I never used to play doubles. I used to play doubles, but it wasn't like formally, Like I used to have a partner, ha, chalo khel lete this tournament, kind of like that.
Hmm.
But when I met my partner, when I really had my partner fixed, it was on 2016, it was a tournament actually. So, and that tournament, me and my partner, we won the tournament. I and Tonmoy, we won the tournament. And before that tournament, we did not have any formal practice. We just got a name added, and we just told each other, "Ki haan, let's play. Jo hoga dekha jayega in the court." So what happened when our coach saw the chemistry between us? He saw that we really had this chemistry going on. We really had a good chemistry. We can really play well together. Um, After a few days later on, after years or a month, an Indonesian coach came into our academy. His name is Edwin. So he's still our coach. He
Hmm.
came in. So he asked me, what do you want to play? Either you want to play a singles or a doubles, because you can't play both. You can't play singles and doubles both. It's difficult after a certain age of time. It becomes difficult for you. You cannot handle both the pressure. So he told me, what do you want to play? I told, I want to play doubles. It's not that I don't like singles, but I really feel that I would do better if I play doubles. So that way, how from being a singles player, I do change myself. I did change myself from uh, being into a doubles player. I think I have seen the errors that I had when I played doubles before, without being, without a coach. But now, since I have a coach, I think the transition that I had from being a singles player to a doubles player is huge. I think I cannot prove to you right now, but when you see me playing, I think you're going to agree with me, that yes, you are right. I think it was that time when he asked me, yeah, you want to play doubles or singles? I said, I want to play doubles. So, yeah, and that's how it began, from serving, long services in singles to doing short backhand services. I think, yeah, it was a very good journey. Very good journey. Yes.
Ayad, you mentioned you transitioned from singles to doubles at very early in your life. You were 11 or 12. So how
Uh,
important? Yeah, please continue. Yeah, you
yeah,
were.
yeah, you can.
Yeah. So I was saying how important it is to identify one event, either singles or doubles, whatever you feel like, at a very early age and practice specially for that. How important?
I think when a kid or when a boy or a girl goes to decide and play badminton, कि हाँ मुझे badminton खेलना है, he or she practices for a couple of years, to get into the position of playing a singles or a doubles. At the very beginning, we all are singles player. We all play singles, right? You, me, everyone who is watching here who's a player, I think they all must have started being a singles player, playing as a singles player. So I think it is the age and it's a maturity when your age increases and you go and mature and when you become mature enough. I think then you realize ki I'm good at this sport or a particular event, whether it's a singles or a doubles. I think it should not be forced on a particular player that कि हाँ तुम्हें doubles ही खेलना है पहले से ही career बनाने से पहले you have to play doubles. No, it shouldn't be. I think it is a choice of a player he or she must have the choice. If she or she wants to start playing a single player, I think the parents, the coach should support him. And if he feels that, that he or she has performed very well in singles, but at a certain point of time, he or she feels, that, he will or she will do much better if he or she changes into doubles. I think that is also, should be supported. How important it is, I would say, depends upon person to person. In my spectrum, it was kind of when I realized when I really started performing well in doubles after I had a partner. When I came to know ki, I do play well in doubles. As I compared myself from being a singles player, I got to know ki I really play doubles better. So then I shifted myself to doubles.
So, Ayad, what, how is your schedule, prepared to cater your style of game? And what is the schedule
Um,
right now in which you are training pre-COVID?
My schedule, actually, my coaches, they
Hmm.
prepare it, and we are being sent via message via WhatsApp group.
Hmm.
We are being told a day before, the night before, that tomorrow we are going to have this schedule.
Hmm.
So accordingly, when we get into the play, we follow the schedule, and there is no addition or a subtraction of any other players there.
Hmm.
Once this fixed, it is fixed. If you want to play, beyond that, if you want to improve your strokes, that is welcomed. Um, I think right now my schedule is pre-COVID. I think it was quite, I would say it was very tough. I have to manage everything. Now education have also started, classes have also started before. Also, it has been going on. I think I have done really well. Comparing managing both my studies and sports. I think the way coaches gives us the time, I fix my tuitions, I fix my classes according to it. So yeah.
Yeah. So, how many hours a day do you practice on a regular day?
On a regular day, I practice 6 hours on court. Depends
Okay.
upon if we have 3 sessions in a day, then it goes by two, two, two. If
Okay.
we have 2 sessions in a day, then it's a 4 hours, two and two, two in the morning, two in the afternoon.
Okay. So, Ayad, when we were talking the other day, you said that you were performing well at the state circuit, but once you went to a national circuit, it was a completely different story for you. So, how that experience changed you as a player?
Here, where I'm playing right now in Assam, the competition is very tough. We cannot take a player for granted here. Each player here plays very well out. I think it's very, very tough here, the competition here. So once I got into the national team, not even national team, once I started playing rankings, playing tournaments, I got to realize that, players at that level have worked so hard to reach there. It's not that I did not work hard, so I did not get there. It's not about that. It's about, how you see it, is how you compare your state tournament and national tournament circuit, national circuit
Hmm.
tournament. I think when I played my nationals, I would say nationals, I had seen that, every player had a dream. Every player had a dream of winning the medal, getting into the podium. Every player was equally hardworking, like each one of us. Um, the competition is tough compared to state and the nationals, because in the national, when you go for the national, you go only the best of the players of the states in India comes to play, right? So they're the best of the best competes among each other, and among the best of the best, there will be a winner. So when you're competing with the best, you know that you have to make yourself best.
Hmm.
If you yourself are not best, you cannot play with the best properly, right? So I think the competition there is very tough. I think one should be really mentally and physically, trained. Mentally should be very fixed. He shouldn't have any emotional disbalance, because when you lose in the national, especially which happened with me when I played my first national, I did not know what national really meant. I did not know its importance. But as I became mature enough, as I started knowing its importance, I got to know that it has a lot of scope. I think it will give, if you win national, it gives you so much of recognition, right? I mean, so many players we know just because they have won the national tournament. So many players. Like, I think, yeah, the competition is tough everywhere, whether it's a state tournament or a national level tournament. Competition is tough. But if we have to compare between a state and a national tournament, then I would say the national tournament are the toughest.
Okay. Ayad, out of all the tournaments which you have played, if I would ask you one tournament which comes to your mind, which feel that that particular tournament changed your outlook towards the sport, be it a win or be it a loss, what tournament it
Uh,
was?
it was actually my national tournament. It was a sub junior national tournament, which was held at Bangalore in Karnataka. It was held. It was at the age. It was in the year 2018. It was in the year 2018. Uh, that time I used to play doubles. Now also I play, which I continue. I continue now also. Um, I had lost me and my partner. I only played doubles at that time. Me and
Hmm.
my partner, we lost against this then seeded number one in that national
Hmm.
tournament. So we won again. It was a pre-quarter final match. We won the first set. Then we lost the second set. Then we lost the third set by having a lead of 2016,
Hmm.
and we lost by having a deuce of 21-23. We lost against them. But trust me, that match almost went for an hour. I mean, I have learned so many things, you know. I have that match taught me, you know, how to be composed in a particular match. That match taught me how important your communication is with your partner. If there is no proper communication with your partner, I think you're not going to have a good, you know, bond if you're playing at doubles, especially if you're playing at doubles. So losing with Dan seeded Dan's a national champion who became the national champion also. Against whom he lost, they became the national champion also. So I realized that if we can do deciding with them, if we can be on the verge of defeating them, I'm pretty sure if I work more harder, if I work a much better percentage than I'm working from before, I think I can do really well. And so what happened, you know, I started imbibing those things into my schedule. I started making myself realize, see, Ayad, you don't have to see who is seeded one, who is seeded two. All players are equal in the national circuit. All of them are the best. It's just a matter of a day. It's just a matter where on that day is whether you play well or not. It's not, you know, it's natural, you know. Sometimes you have a good day, sometimes you have a bad day. You know, when you have a good day, you win. When you have a bad day, you lose. But that does not mean that, you know, these lose and setbacks should govern our life. I think that particular tournament taught me the lessons that I really govern myself right now with.
Uh, Ayat, one thing which comes to my mind was there's a general perception amongst players of your age that एक एकेडमी में नहीं हो रहा है तो मैं दूसरे जगह जा रहा हूँ. So the slightest of possibilities they feel कि यहाँ पे नहीं हो रहा है, they usually shift academies without even having a thought. You, as you said, your coach came in 2011, and till now you're training under the same coach. How important is the trust part which you need to have as a player in your coach?
um, uh, trust is something that is important in any relationship, whether it's a father and a son, whether it's a wife and a husband, or a player and a coach, or a brother and a sister. It's important in every relation. In that same way, you know, trust is more important in sports also. If you do not trust the schedule that your coach is giving, the coach has been instructed to you to do, then I think you're never gonna perform well if you do not stick to the schedule. And you know, it's a coach, you know, who's going to tell you in a match, during a match, hey, you should do this, you should not do that. I think it is within that thing, you know, where the that inculcation of trust builds up between a coach and a player. And during the training regime, you know, we get close with the coach, right? I mean, we meet them everywhere, almost 6 hours on court, 4 hours on court. We train under them. They share us their experiences, they share us their knowledge. And with time, when they come with us for the tournament, when they start living with us, when they know that, you know, today this particular person has a match, this player has a match, and that coach needs to go and sit behind him. I think that trust automatically grows. It doesn't has to be a tournament, but it automatically grows during a training regime itself. I think, as I said, the day when I was talking to you, as I said, it is very important, that the coach must know the player's character. A coach is someone who cries with the player and laughs with the player, right? If you do not understand the pain of that particular player, you can never be able to be a good coach. In that same way, if a player does not know the expectations of a coach, if a player doesn't know the expectation of himself, I think he can also never, excel in life. If you don't have a goal, how will you be performing well? If you don't have a goal, you're just working hard. Your hard works are going all in vain. So trust is very important. That is the only foundation of every relationship. And in sports, I think that is the epitome. That is really the biggest epitome in sports.
Throughout your career, you are 16 now, but you have already played the sport for around 8 to 9 years, or I would say for a decade. Was there any particular phase wherein you felt things are not going your way, or you don't belong to this league? And if yes, then how did you deal with that phase of yours?
Yes, actually, why? Because as a player, we all know we go through so many emotional facts. Someday you are happy, someday you are sad, someday you play really well in your practice, someday you do not, and sometimes you set back yourself with injuries. Um, I think, as far as myself is concerned here, I think it was all regard with education. Actually, there was a time when I felt that I was not able to manage. Just before my boards also, I felt, I'm not being able to manage. But when I told myself that, see, it's not about giving up or doing well, it's about how you manage things. um, Emotions plays an important role in all our life. If you are an emotionally if you are an emotional person, you won't know how your partner feels, especially if you play doubles. I mean, if you don't have the chemistry between your partner, you won't know how you're supposed to play your match, how you're supposed to win that match. So there was a time when I felt, mujhe, I don't belong here. But I dealt with that situation in a way, of positivity. I took that as a positive way. I took that. I told myself, it's okay. It's all about one day at a time. Just take it one day at a time. Everything will be fine. And here I am, still playing, still managing my studies very well. I have to say, I think it's all because of that, of the will to do it. I think that will needs to be there in the player. If you really want to perform well, you need to have the will to do it.
Ayad, your brother Ayan, he has represented India in the recently concluded ABC Championship. Your father holds a position in badminton India. So people say, okay, your brother plays badminton. He's representing India. Your father is at a good post. But personally, I think there is a pressure on you. Means there must be a pressure on you of all these things. Okay, people must be expecting, acha, Ayad aaya hai. He should play well. He's brother of Ayan. He practices at one of the best academies in the country. So, how do you deal with those pressures when you step on the court?
When my brother Ayan, when he first got selected for the India team, trust me, I was the first one to get onto my toes and celebrate.
And
I was so
sorry to
happy
interrupt,
for.
Ayad, but
Yes,
I want
yeah.
you to answer it as a player and not as a brother. So there are two different feelings. So
Okay.
yeah.
As a player, when I came to know he got selected, I was happy. As a player, I was really happy. As a brother, I was very happy. But somewhere, I really felt that hunch in myself. That yeah, it's okay. I think, don't you think it's very natural? If you have a brother, I think you would also feel the same. I think
Yes.
every player who has a brother or a sister, if the other one gets selected in the India team, the other one, then the other person or the other, sibling, he or she automatically gets upset just as a player,
Yes.
upset as a player, but very happy as a brother or sister. Okay, So, matlab, as a player, yes, I was upset, that, knowing the fact that my brother is going alone to represent the India team, I'm not going with him. Like, there's a saying, like, when a brother plays, the sister gets the joy, or when a sister plays, the brother gets the joy. So, in the same thing here, it is. When I saw him going into the national team, I felt, why not me? Why I am? I asked question myself. But honestly speaking, at the same time, I was very happy. So with time, that thoughts, that I had about myself, the doubt that I had upon myself, whether I'll be able to get into the India team or not, went away with time. And as far the pressure is concerned, being a secretary's son, being Omar Rashid's son, I think there's no pressure. Honestly speaking, there's no pressure. Why? Because my father is so supportive. I think he has never told me once also, Ayad, you have to win it. I already, whenever a player steps inside the court, he or she knows the sacrifice his or her parent has done. He himself gives his best. A parent does not have to say to his or her son, "Beta, तुम अच्छे से खेलना, मैंने बहुत पैसा लगाया तुम पे." Nobody has to say like that. So I think my dad and my mom are very supportive. I think without them, I think I wouldn't be here. Without them, me and my brother wouldn't be here. So the pressure was not there, but yeah, somewhere I do feel I really need to perform well. I really need to, go up just to make my parents proud, just to make myself proud, because all these hard work that I'm doing is because of myself, is for myself, not because of anyone, not because of just because, I have to do something, I am doing it. No, it's my passion. And when you do something for your passion, hard work seems to be nothing. You strive for being perfect in your passion. So that pressure, that uh, being a secretary's son, or knowing the fact that your brother has played for India, I think that did went away with time. That did went away as I became mature enough. But the pressure is there. Pressure, little bit of pressure. 1% of pressure is still there. That's
That
all.
I would say that must be a positive pressure for you, and that has to be there every time when you
Yeah,
step on the
yeah,
court. That
absolutely.
has to be there. Yeah,
Absolutely, yeah, yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't take any things in my life negatively. I always see positively. As I said, when my brother got into the team, I was the first person to get on my toe and celebrate. So it doesn't matter whether he gets into the team or whether I get into the team. It's the same. If I get in the team, maybe next year or maybe in the next tournament, he will be happy in the same way. I'm pretty sure. So, but as a player, I think I was sad. Somewhere I was sad. Somewhere it felt that yeah, yaar, तुम भी हो सकते हो उसकी जगह. That's
maybe
what.
instead of not instead of, I would say along with Ayaan Rashid, it could also be Ayad Rashid.
Yeah, yes, that's what. Just imagine
How
how
wonderful it would
proud
be for
my
your
parents would
parents
be.
having those
Yes,
two
yeah,
jerseys,
I'm like,
simultaneously in
yeah,
front of
yeah,
them.
that's what I'm. Yeah, yeah, that's what. I mean, it's still a dream, still a dream. I'm pretty sure, inshallah, one day it's going to happen. Very soon, it's going to happen.
Definitely,
Very soon.
definitely. And you are also knocking on the doors of the Indian team. It's not like you're too far away. But it would
Yeah, right.
be
Hard work is always there. Hard work. I'm giving my trust me, Shri. I'm giving my 110% whenever I'm on court. Whether it's an off-court session or whether it's an on-court session, I really give my 110% because I am giving up my time and focusing on something where I know that once you get an injury, you have to stop that particular. You have to stop your passion. I know that sports is a very, it's a very, you don't know what's gonna happen the next day. You may have an injury and you may have to sit for the next, 1 year or 3 months or two. But knowing the fact that I'm enjoying myself in the court, knowing the fact that I'm giving my 100% inside the court, I think that's what matters. That's what really matters.
And I had I played probably I stopped professional badminton a couple of years back, and during that time, many players from Northeast were performing at the highest level. But initially, during 2004 or 2005, there weren't many players coming from that region. So what has changed? Because I remember there's one of my friend called Ankur Sangpangrai, a very dear friend of mine. He was the first player to come to Thane from Northeast. But now, if you see, there are many players performing. There are doubles champions from Northeast. So what has changed that there are players coming from that region?
I think it is a recognition, people have started seeing us as a state, the entire Northeast region, the state that it belongs to, Northeast region. They have started seeing us as their competition. Before, honestly speaking, when I was also small, nobody knew what Assam is. Honestly speaking, nobody knew who the players were from Assam, whether they were players or not from Assam. But now actually, what is that factor? It is a facility. It is a facility taken up by individual association, just like the Assam Badminton Association, the organization, the secretary, everyone. They have made sure that that badminton should flourish in the state. I think that's what I believe. That our Northeast region, each individual association, I think they have started taking up the sport very seriously. Unlike like football and cricket, they are so famous. I think anyone says gonna watch a football match, they'll say yes, come, let's go, no problem. But when badminton is concerned, no, nobody knows what badminton really is, how good this game is, how gentleman this game is. So I think it's individual, it's associations, individuals take up initiative that has made the entire Northeast regime, entire Northeast region, a hotspot. I think, especially if I talk about my state, Assam, I think badminton here is very competitive, very competitive. I think it is because of the facility that we have. I think the better the facility you have, the better the players are going to perform. As I said at the beginning of the conversation, facility is the only thing that is required for a person, whether it's financial or whether it's through any items. Could be a racket, shuttle, shoe, t-shirt, anything. But when you set up your mind that हाँ मुझे ये facility करना है, I have to provide this facility. When a secretary decides, हाँ we have to flourish this badminton, the particular sports of badminton in my state, I think that is the step that is going to change players' life, players' perception towards playing badminton.
True, true, true. And
By the way, can I know, Shri, the facility you are in right now? I mean, it's so beautiful. I can see your 3 to 4 courts behind you. Like, I mean, where are you right now?
I am
So
actually
beautiful.
not in Mumbai now. I am in Gujarat. I'm in Anand. So this is my friend's academy.
Okay.
So the academy's name is Seven Sports Academy. So they have 6 courts. And as you were mentioning about facilities, I was thinking that the players who are playing in these facilities are so fortunate that they have such a big
Right,
facility. They
absolutely.
have all the resources. I have been here for the last couple of weeks. I'm seeing how they are practicing. At the tender age of 7 and 8, they have a facility which is of international level. And as you can see, there are 3 to 4 mat courts here. Players have all the facilities right from the start, and I don't see any doubts that players from here will go on to represent the country in the coming days.
Yeah, that's what Shri. I think when a player knows from a very young age, uske saath, he has the support of a facility, a proper facility. I'm speaking about. I think that player does not need to take any tension. When you do not have a facility, you have so much of tension. Where will I get my shoe? Where will I get my racket from? Where will I practice? Where will I get the shuttle to play with? So when a player gets a facility from a very young age, उसका tension नहीं रहता है.
Correct.
He is stress free now. He can give his best on court. That's why I'm saying, facilities are very important. It's as I said, it's epitome. It's the biggest factor that that is responsible for shaping a player's life, I think.
Yeah, as we were talking, I got to know that I understand that there were a lot of setbacks in your career. So how has those setbacks shaped you as a person today?
Honestly, it made me more, more trust. I trust myself more. It made me trust myself. It made me realize that no matter whatever you must have done in before else, days back in your past, doesn't has to define your present right now. It could be a lose because it could be a loss in a match or lose in a match just because for your mistake. But that does not mean that you are a bad player. You must have been through so many injuries. That does not mean that you cannot be fit in the future. It's not that. So, as what I learned from my mistakes, what I learned from my setback is that it's a part and parcel of life. Every player's life. Even if you're not a player, you'll have setbacks in your life. Nobody's life is perfect, but as a player, it has really shaped my life the way I want to be. It has made me more responsible. Any decision I take, I make sure that it is for my benefit and it is for myself. Because when I think of myself, when I think of my happiness, then only I can perform better. So it has made me more attentive, made me more punctual, and made me more hardworking, I would say.
Ayat, looking back, if you had to change one thing, what would it be?
As in myself,
In your badminton career, you felt that, okay, things would have been different if this was there that way, or I would have changed this.
I would say if I would have the facility of having the coach that I am right now, if I would have get, if I, for example, I'm just giving an example. If I, for example, I get my Edwin coach and the coach that I have right now, when I was at the age of 12 or 13, I think I could have performed better. You know what I mean to say, right? I mean, uh, I respect all the way how coaches train their players, but sometimes it depends upon a coach also, how he trains. Why do we bring Indonesian coaches? Why do we bring foreign players from outside and in India? Where in India we have so many talents of coaches. Why? Just because to know how they train their players. So what I mean to say is that if I would have had such good coaches at the very beginning, I think I would have done really well. And one thing that I would love to tell myself, if I were to change myself, as in, I would make myself, more active, you know, because as I said, before badminton was just fun for me until I realized, how to make it, as my profession, So before it was just a fun for me, but I would tell myself this: be more, attentive, be be a bit more hardworking.
Ayat, we can't go ahead talking about your parents. What kind of sacrifice have they made, you know, because of which you are here right now?
My dad, honestly speaking, he has done a lot of sacrifice. I won't go deep in details, what he has done and what he has not. But let me say one thing, wherever he is right now and wherever I am right now, it's because of him. It's because of my mom and dad. My dad is very supportive. My mom is, I don't know, she's a blessing, Every mother is a blessing, She works in the kitchen 24 hours a day. She gets so tired. I've seen her sweating inside the, kitchen. As soon as I come back from my session, she tells me, "You want to eat something or not?" You know, I mean, that humbleness, that care for your, son or a daughter, I think a mother can give. And dads are like superheroes, they are superheroes of every children, I think dad are the backbone. I would say mother is the one that shapes our mind and our heart, I think, and the dad are the backbone which supports us to stand.
Ayat, how important is the environment at home, especially for a player?
How it should be.
How important it is, the environment at home, for him to perform well when he steps on the court?
I think as a player, I would say our parents need to be very supportive. Just because their kid loses a match, you shouldn't be scolding him or her. Because when I was a small, honestly speaking, I used to get scolding from my dad, when I used to play really bad. But he never scolded me for losing. But he always scolded me for playing bad because I did not give myself, and that is valid. if you want to scold your kid just because they did not play good, it's okay. You can do that, but you cannot beat your children, or you cannot taunt your children just because they have lost their match. That is not the way of parenting. What I have seen, my parents have parented me in a way they really want to see me. They scolded me, for the mistakes that I have done, and very silly mistakes. I do remember now. There's so many silly mistakes I made. I got so much of scolding, but everything was valid. Now I realize कि जो भी मुझे, whatsoever scolding I might have got back then, everything was acceptable because I have realized it now. But one request to every parents who are watching here, that please, do not scold your kid, do not scold your children, just because they have lost their match. School them, it's okay, just because they have, not played well, but they don't deserve to be scolded just because they have lost their match. There is difference between scolding and appreciating. That's what I would say.
And Ayad, as
and
you
and
have,
and and
yeah,
and,
please.
and motive, and if there's no support and motivation from your, especially from your parent, your life is a void, your life is empty. Without their blessings and the support, it's empty. You can go nowhere if there is no support.
And to add to your point, I always feel that there is a line between support and interference. So it should
Right,
always be
right,
a support, and it
absolutely.
shouldn't be an interference.
Yes,
Let the
yes,
player
absolutely,
express
absolutely. Like,
express himself or herself on the court.
yes, yes, our parents should not, suppress the kid, कि मैंने जो बोला तुम्हें वही करना है. No, it shouldn't be like that. I have seen so many players. Shri, what happened in 2018 national tournament?
Hmm.
There was a match going on in front of my eye. I saw that match. That kid played so well, but he eventually lost the match. He came, and very fortunately, he came and sat near me in the gallery where I was sitting next to me. And his parents were standing right next to him, and they scolded him so much. I mean, I was like, how can that happen? That kid played so well. Why you're scolding him? Instead, you should appreciate him. I think that's what I mean to say. You should know, a parent should know when he or she should appreciate or scold. I think आजकल we don't see much of scolding. If you agree with me, I think we don't see so much of scolding nowadays. We see more of support. I think it is because of how recognized this sport is. I think it is just because of the recognition of the sport that parents have also how to deal with the kids, especially if they play badminton.
I had any piece of advice for the players watching you now?
I would say, just give your best, give your 110% on court, no matter what, uh, whether it's a win or a lose in a tournament. When you know that you have given your 100%, when you know that you have done and you are satisfied with the training that you have done, you're always going to be happy with your life. And happiness is what it matters, right? If you really play well, if you know you're giving 100%, eventually you'll perform well. It does not have to be forced within you. It will eventually come. So I would say, give your 100%, give your best, be dedicated, respect your coach, maintain a good relationship with coach, because they are the one who is going to guide you in the future ahead.
I had before we leave, if you had to say something to your younger self, what would it be?
That's a tricky question. I would say myself to be a more kinder to myself. I would say myself not to take pressure. I would tell myself enjoy life, enjoy the moment, because right now I realize that life is very short. Just because of the COVID thing, there was a time when we felt that what would happen if the vaccine does not come. Everybody's life was at risk. There was a question mark in everyone's life. Kya hoga if vaccine does not come? In that same way, I would love to say my younger self, just enjoy your life, enjoy the moment, I would say, because those are the things that you're going to share to your child, to your grandchildren, or to any of your senior or a junior player.
So Ayad, what are your plans going forward now as a player? Which particular tournament are you looking at? Or
Right now, I'm waiting, honestly speaking, I'm waiting for the COVID to get over, because if the COVID does not get over, I think there is no, promises of having any tournament. So I think first the I'm waiting for the COVID. At the same time, I'm practicing also. So my practice is going on side by side. There is no matlab, imbalance with my thoughts that that I won't be playing later on, even if the COVID gets extended with the vaccine. But my plans are, I'm still hoping that there should be the nationals of under 17. The ABC selection. I'm still hoping that things get fine, just like the way it was before. I really hope that vaccine comes out soon. I really hope that everybody is safe wherever they are, because now safety is what's more important. And if COVID does not get over, I don't think so. I think we are even stepping into the tournament circuit.
True, true. So any short-term goal which you are targeting now for the next 2 years or 3 years?
Short-term goal, I would tell maybe my physical. Since I have taken a break, before my boards, now I'm emphasizing more on my physical. I'm emphasizing more on my hard strokes and soft strokes, because everybody can play hard strokes. If you hold and give a racket to a layman who doesn't know how to play a badminton, he would also hit a hard shot. But it is very difficult to play soft strokes in doubles. So I'm undergoing training in soft strokes. I'm undergoing in my physical, and I'm also going training in my core. I'm strengthening my core. I think these are the three areas where I'm lacking behind.
So Ayad, it was wonderful talking to you, and trust me,
pleasure to be here.
Before you, we had speakers in our conversation, but everyone had played the game for a good 15-20 years. But from you, we got a different perspective of a young player who has a whole career in front of him, and it was a wonderful experience talking to you.
No, Shay, it was my pleasure to be here. I think thank you for giving me the opportunity. I think everybody has a story, and it needs to be heard. When it is heard, then only you come to know what the player goes through. If you do not hear someone's story and you judge them, it is unfair, right? So I would say it's my pleasure to be here, to be being with you, being with so many viewers here. And thank you to all the viewers for listening to me, for bearing me for almost an hour.
No, it was so wonderful much. because I also personally feel that victories are not which count at the end of the day, because as a player you have a very short career. After that, it's only the journey that counts, and the person you are as a player, your career will end at 30, 35. Now, after that, the person you are, the journey in which you have the journey you have taken, that's what matters for the whole of your life.
Right, everything, every day in your life, that one baby steps that you take. For example, just today you play a good perfect toss, you learn how to toss properly. Tomorrow you learn how to serve properly. That small baby steps in life are very important. When these steps accumulate together, you see a larger step of progress and success. So these small baby steps are very important. Learning new things every day life is very important.
So thank you, Ayad, and I hope the next time we talk about how you played your first international tournament and having Ayad Rashid written behind your T-shirt.
Inshallah, sure. One day I would love to be with you at them also.
Thank you so much, and all the best for your future endeavors, Ayad. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Bye.